Welcome to Pet Video Libraries, caring for your new cat. For the sake of this video, we'll assume that this is your first cat, or that it's been a while since you've invited a new kitten into your home. You're now about to make a long commitment to caring for your new friend. That's because cats live much longer than dogs do, often up to 20 years or more. So, you and your new friend are going to share many memorable and meaningful times together for many, many years to come. In this video, we'll show you everything you'll need to know about raising, caring for, and maintaining a healthy, happy cat. A cat that will provide you with years of joy and loving companionship. Cats have a long and fascinating history as companions to people and cultures around the world. The earliest evidence of domestication dates back 8,000 years, where the bones of humans, cats, and mice were found buried together on the island of Cyprus. The cats were probably brought there from Egypt to catch mice that had previously stowed away on other ships. The ancient Egyptians protected their harvests by using cats to rid their crops of mice and other vermin. It didn't take long for cats to become regularly used for hunting because of their skills at catching and killing these pests. Before long, cats were encouraged with milk, fish, and other foods to stick around. Cats being cats and knowing a good thing when they come across one, were all too happy to oblige. Over time, it became illegal to harm cats, which exalted their status. This led to an Egyptian religious order of cat worship that lasted almost 2,000 years. Eventually, domesticated cats found their way across Asia and Europe and have been with us ever since. In fact, companion cats are now so popular, in America, they outnumber dogs. Before you bring your new kitten home, it's a good idea to prepare for its arrival by selecting the proper supplies and food. Let's start with the cat's food. You'll want to select some good quality, dry and wet foods that are specially formulated for the age of your cat. Its breed and size will also play a role in the selection of food. Do a little research and read the labels carefully before buying anything. Always stick with quality, reputable brands. Don't hesitate to talk to other cat owners, the experts at pet stores, or a veterinarian about recommending the right foods, too. Cats have a reputation for being fussy eaters. That's why it's a good idea that you have different flavors of foods to offer them. They'll let you know, in no uncertain terms, which ones they like and which ones they don't. Of course, what goes in eventually comes out. That means that your cat's going to need a litter box, good quality cat litter, and a sturdy, slotted scooper to remove the waste. In the beginning, you'll need to keep the litter box in a room where the kitty will be kept while getting used to its surroundings. Later, you can find someplace else to keep it. It's a good idea to keep a small, sealable trash bin with plastic liners near the litter box. You can scoop out the waste and dispose of it in the bin, spray some disinfectant on it, and seal it shut to keep the odor from getting out. It's also a good idea to keep some rubber gloves nearby, too, especially if you're pregnant, have young children, or other pets in your home. Be sure to clean the litter box every day, or even immediately after your cat uses it. Not only will your cat appreciate it, the litter will last longer, and your nose will be happier too. Since kittens and cats love to play, you should provide a selection of toys for them to play with. Perhaps even a kitty tube, cat condo, or a perch to climb on, and some playthings to bat around. Anything that provides a stimulating source of play for your cat is not only good for it, but will provide hours of fun for the both of you. Finally, before your cat arrives, It would be wise to have an identification tag on a breakaway collar with a little bell attached to it so that you can locate your kitty when it hides. Okay, which is better for your cat, being indoors or outdoors? The answer is that it's better for cats to remain indoors all the time. Not only is it safer for them, they actually live longer, healthier lives. For one thing, they're less likely to get exposed to viruses and diseases, possibly killed by a predator or get hit by a car. They also won't be able to pursue their natural instinct to hunt, which will save the lives of countless small wild creatures. You know, studies have shown that cats can kill enough birds and small reptiles to drastically diminish their numbers. This has even led to the extinction of several bird species in some parts of the world. The right kind of toys will enable you to interact with your cat and give it the opportunity to channel its hunting tendencies into productive play and exercise, indoors instead of out. Before I move on to bringing a kitty home, I'd like to suggest that you consider where to go before you get one. You can purchase cats from pet stores, from breeders, or from rescue homes. If you're in the market for a specific breed of cat, then you should seek out reputable cat breeders. They can be found in the classified sections of newspapers and through cat clubs. Generally, you can be assured that these kittens are raised in a good environment, with the intent of producing healthy, purebred cats with good temperaments. Good breeders will also provide references that you can check out too. Buying the cat from a breeder also enables you to meet the kitten's parents and to see the environment in which the cats are cared for and raised. Perhaps the best option of all is to get your cat from a shelter or rescue home. The kitties here are in the most need of a loving home. These cats have had their health and medical needs attended to and are often given remedial training for any behavioral problems if needed. Some of these organizations will also pre-screen potential owners before releasing any cats to them. They have the best interest of these cats in mind and won't let just anybody take one home. You'll be assured of a healthy cat that's well suited for your home. It will also have been spayed and neutered. The best part about it is that you'll be bringing an extremely grateful new friend home to live with you. So make a point to consider shelters and rescue homes for finding a cat before any other option. Well, the day has finally arrived to bring your new cat home. Here are some suggestions to make the transition easier for a kitty. First, try to bring a comfort item, like a towel or a toy that has the scent of the other animals or human it spent time with from its previous home. This will help it to feel more secure. Keep the kitten confined to a cat carrier or transport box while in transit. Once home, these containers can temporarily double as a place for them to seek refuge in until they feel ready to come out and explore their new surroundings. Keep your new kitty in a quiet room with the door closed for the first few days. Remember to keep the litter box along with bowls of food and water in there too. If you have children and other pets, keep them out of this room. Bring them home some new toys or things to chew on to keep their attention diverted from the new cat in the house. Try to keep the noise levels down too. You'll want to keep Kitty from getting frightened so that it adjusts to its new surroundings comfortably and at its own pace. Then, little by little, introduce Kitty to other pets and kids, individually and slowly. Let the cat get to know them in a very gentle and calm manner. If Kitty gets frightened, ease off until it's ready. Eventually, your cat's natural curiosity will get the better of it and Kitty will come out to meet everyone. Have some treats to reward it when it does. And be sure to give your cats lots of praise and affection. The more interaction and bonding you have with your cat while it's young, the more affectionate it will grow up to be. Cats are no different from people that way. Pretty soon, they'll be letting you know they want to be loved and stroked. In return, they'll reward you with lots of purring and cuddling. Your cat needs a nutritious and balanced diet to maintain optimal health, just as we do. It needs good quality cat food made by a prominent manufacturer, along with lots of fresh water. Most cats enjoy a mix of dry and wet or moist cat foods. Cats are nibblers, so you can let your cat have dry food to snack on all day long. Buy a continuously feeding dry food canister that automatically dispenses food in the attached bowl as it gets eaten. Dry food has greater caloric density than wet food because there's less water in it. This means your cat will drink more water if it prefers to eat lots of dry food. So you need to make sure there's plenty of fresh water in its bowl every day. Don't let it drink from the toilet, fish tanks, or planters. These can cause your cat to get sick. When it comes to wet food, about 1 ounce of food per pound of your cat's weight is adequate for each feeding. You can either feed it once a day or some in the morning and some in the evening. Just give it a little less with each serving than you would if you decided to give your cat wet food just once a day. Whatever you decide, feeding your cat wet food should be done in a way that's consistent and served at the same time every day. As tempting as it can be, avoid giving your cat people foods, especially tuna and milk. The mercury levels in tuna can easily build up in your cat's system and cause serious illness. Generally speaking, milk is not recommended for cats as many of them are lactose intolerant, and they have problems digesting it and may end up developing digestive problems as well. It's all right, however, to occasionally let your cat have a little cooked meat, poultry, or fish, so long as the bones are removed. Just not too much, though. Be sure that it was raw before being cooked and not from a canned or processed source. These usually contain too much sodium, nitrates, and other additives that can upset your cat's system. Kittens should be fed foods formulated for their age for about 1 year of age. After that, your cat is considered an adult and should be gradually switched to the appropriate formula for adult cats. After 8 to 9 years of age, you should switch your cat to a senior formula. Cats are usually very good about regulating their own weight, especially when they're young and full of energy. As they mature, they start to become more sedentary. Some cats even become couch potatoes and start to put on weight. If this starts to happen, consult with your vet and determine how much to cut down on the amount of food your cat eats. Sometimes emotional problems can lead to weight gain. Try to determine what the problem is and do what you can to eliminate it. Don't hesitate to talk to your vet about this too. They'll be able to help you find a solution to the problem. With the proper nutrition, along with lots of love and play, your cat will lead a long and healthy life with few, if any, physical problems. One of the first things you're going to train your cat to do is to use the litter box. Fortunately, this is pretty easy to do, and most cats take to it quickly. The litter box should be large enough to accommodate 1 cat. If you have more than 1 cat, get a litter box for each one of them. It should be made of a non-absorbent material, like plastic. You might also want to use litter liners. Use a good quality litter. The kinds that clump are a little more expensive, but easier to clean up. Cats prefer their litter boxes to be clean, so you should clean it every day. If possible, clean it right after Kitty uses it. Once a week, clean the litter box with soap and water. Add a little vinegar or lemon juice to freshen it up, but don't use ammonia. This will just make the litter box smell worse. Then refill it with around 1 to 2 inches of fresh litter. The litter box should also be placed on a hard, non-porous floor, preferably in a low-traffic location where the cat can use it in relative seclusion. Make sure that it's easily accessible at all times. Never place the litter box near the cat's eating or sleeping areas, or it won't want to use it. If you have a large home or more than one cat, set up more than one litter box in different areas of the house. Just remember to check and clean them daily. If you decide to keep the litter box in the bathroom, be sure to keep the door open when the bathroom's not in use. Otherwise, your cat will have no choice but to find somewhere else to go in your home. If you have a basement and you want to keep the litter box down there, consider installing a pet door on your basement door so that your cat can come and go as it pleases. If you can't do that, then find a way to keep the basement door permanently propped open. In fact, this should be done for any door that could keep your cat from getting to its box. Training your kitten to use the litter box is pretty easy. If you observe it nosing around the corners of the house, scratching at the soil and planters, or squatting to do its business, pick Kitty up and immediately place it in the litter box. Gently take its front paws and scratch the litter with them because they instinctively prefer to cover their waist after going. If your cat has gone somewhere else in the house, clean it up with a paper towel and place the towel in the litter box. Then place Kitty in the litter box. Take its paws and scratch the litter to reinforce that this is where the waste belongs. Your cat should begin to make the connection that this is where it's supposed to do its business. Repeat this procedure as many times as necessary. Whatever you do, don't punish the cat for making a mistake. Kitty will then associate the litter box with punishment and will continue to avoid using it. Prevention and praise are the keys to getting your cat to use the litter box, or anything else for that matter. Praise Kitty right after it uses the box. Before long, your kitten will be an old hand at this, and you can stop worrying about it. Scratching and climbing are natural and enjoyable behaviors for cats. They need to scratch their nails regularly in order to remove the nail's old outer layers. You'll need to train them to use scratching posts instead of your furniture. To start with, Kitty should not be given free run of the house until it's learned to use scratching posts. Keep your cat confined to an area where it won't get into trouble, and place the scratching posts in there too. Since Kitty will have no other choice of surfaces to scratch, it'll turn to the scratching posts. Praise and reward your cat each time it uses them. If Kitty isn't interested in the posts, then you'll have to show it how much fun they can be. Put a little of your cat's favorite food or treat on top of them and let it know the snacks are up there. Try attaching a toy on a string, dangling down from the top so that Kitty can bat it and feel the scratching post's surface. Rub some catnip into the posts too. You might also need to try having a few different kinds of scratching posts made of different materials. Most cats like to scratch their claws just after waking up and stretching. As soon as Kitty wakes up from a nap, call it over to the scratching post and use your fingers to scratch the post a foot or two from the floor. Try to get its attention fixated on your fingers so that it wants to reach up and bat at them. Don't hold the cat's claws to do this like you did when training it to use the litter box. The cat will resist and dislike the scratching post. You have to outwit Kitty by using lures and rewards, followed by lots of lavish praise. It's the most effective way to get your cat to do whatever you want. Continue to praise your cat whenever it uses the scratching posts without your encouragement to reinforce this good behavior. Of course, some cats will still want to scratch the furniture and draping, even if they also use their scratching posts. So, you'll have to make these surfaces unattractive to them. Spray some menthol or citrus scent onto the forbidden areas. If this doesn't work, try temporarily draping some aluminum foil, netting, or loosely woven fabric over these areas. Cats don't like the way foil feels, and they don't like anything that snags their claws in it. Kitty will soon realize that these areas just aren't as much fun as the scratching posts, and the inappropriate behavior will stop. Since cats like to climb and perch at heights from which to watch the world go by, or feel safe at, you'll have to lay down the ground rules about where it can and cannot do this. Cats love to look out the window, so you might want to get a carpet-covered cat perch to place by one, or find a special cat shelf that attaches to the windowsill for it to sit and lie on. These will usually keep your cat from jumping up on too many other places around the house, especially if there's lots to watch out the window, like a bird feeder. However, your cat's natural curiosity might lead them to jump up on the table or counters. The first thing you'll have to do is to keep items that might interest them off of these areas. That includes food and potential playthings like pens, keys, pieces of paper, and other small objects. Your cat will discontinue returning here if there's nothing of interest to entice it anymore. You can also increase Kitty's interest in the ground level by setting up cardboard boxes, paper bags, and new toys to play with. Rotate and add new ones periodically to maintain your cat's interest level. Use your imagination for new ideas. Playing with your cat several times during the day may also alleviate the need for Kitty to find its own entertainment. If your cat still insists on jumping up on tables and counters, then some harmless negative reinforcement will be called for. A spray bottle filled with water is an excellent deterrent. So is popping a balloon or a bag filled with air. Slap a rolled-up newspaper on the counter. Cats don't like sudden noises. A firm no, followed by a loud hiss, can help too. Just don't reward the cat for minding, or you'll reinforce the bad behavior. Clever little stinkers, aren't they? Of course, these measures require your presence when the inappropriate behavior occurs. There are also a number of creative and harmless options you can use to discourage Kitty from jumping up where it doesn't belong when you're not around. You can put pans or trays filled with water on the counter for Kitty to land in when jumping. Try placing aluminum foil, double-sided sticky tape, or an upside-down plastic carpet runner over the forbidden areas. Your cat won't like the way any of these feel and will stay away from them. You can also buy a number of cat aversion products for this problem at your pet store. If Kitty still continues this wrong behavior, make sure that it's not being caused by fright or an emotional problem. Ask your vet for advice if all else fails. Your cat will need to see the veterinarian for regular checkups and shots. It's a good idea to select the right vet before the need arises. Ask other cat owners or pet shelters for recommendations. Call a few vets' offices and ask whether they specialize in cat care. Some vets see and treat only cats. Ask about what emergency services are available, their hours of operation, and pricing of routine visits. If your cat hasn't been spayed or neutered when you got it, then you'll need to see that this gets done as soon as possible. Getting your cat fixed not only keeps your cat healthier and less aggressive, but it helps control the overpopulation of cats in general, especially male cats. It will also stop them from wanting to mark their territory around the house by spraying. If you still have a cat carrier from when you brought your cat home, be sure to use it for transporting your cat to the vet and back. If not, then buy one and put a towel or small blanket in it. Polyester fleece is ideal because it's soft, warm, and cleans up easily. Make sure the carrier you select will be large enough to accommodate a full-grown cat. You'll be using the carrier for several years to come. Your cat will need to get regular vaccinations every year. When you see your vet, ask about how often you'll need to bring Kitty in for regular checkups. Ask if they can send you reminders. Also, ask about what to watch out for in the way of unusual symptoms or illness, or signs of problems that may occur with your cat. Don't be afraid to ask lots of questions. Communication between you and the vet is very important. Take home any literature they provide, too. The veterinarian is going to be your cat's second best friend, so it's important that you find one who's going to provide the quality of care both you and Kitty will be happy about. What about declawing your cat? Today, experts generally agree that declawing cats is cruel and unnecessary. When a cat gets declawed, the entire tips of the bones in their fingers and toes are cut off, not just the claws. This is very painful for the cat and heals slowly. It can also possibly lead to infection when it scratches around the litter box while still recovering. Declawing can potentially cause physical problems that affect a cat's ability to move around normally. It can also create emotional problems. Plus, it puts Kitty at risk of being unable to properly defend itself in case of an attack. Providing scratching posts, lots of playful exercise, regularly clipping the nails, and even applying soft paws, which are vinyl caps that cover the claws, are all superior, safer, and more humane solutions than declawing your cat. If you're going to clip your cat's claws, you should buy a claw clipper designed for cats or small dogs. You also might need to have someone help out by firmly but gently holding the cat for you, either on a table or in your lap. If your cat gets too fidgety or difficult to handle, try wrapping it up in a towel or blanket with just its head and one paw at a time sticking out. If your cat still won't let you clip its claws, then you'll probably have to take it to the vet to get it done. But if Kitty's cooperative, hold its paw between your fingers and thumb. Use your thumb to gently press down on the joint above the claw, causing it to extend. Quickly cut just the sharp tip of the claw off. Don't cut too close to the pink part inside of the nail. This is called the quick and will bleed and hurt if it gets cut. If you accidentally cut into the quick, apply a little pressure to the tip of the nail to stop the bleeding, or dip the claw into some styptic powder. Then leave the cat alone and finish clipping the rest of the nails at another opportunity. Kitty is not going to be too happy about what just happened, so it's a good idea not to force the issue any further. Instead, give your cat some extra affection for the time being. Clipping the claws can wait until later. Besides, you probably won't manage to clip all of your cat's claws at one time anyway. Try to get them when Kitty's sleeping to make the job easier. Be sure to praise your cat for cooperating and give it a treat too. If your cat spends all its time in the house, then fleas and ticks probably won't be a problem. However, if Kitty spends time outside or comes into contact with other outside cats, then fleas and possibly ticks will become a problem. Fleas can make life absolutely miserable for your cat. In addition to the itching from their bites, fleas can also cause skin infections, pass tapeworms to Kitty, and can possibly cause anemia. Fleas also create a mess that falls out of the cat's fur wherever it spends time. Treating the flea problem requires a three-pronged approach. This means that the cat, the house, and the yard will all need to be treated with a combination of products simultaneously. If the infestation is severe, you may have to use a dip and sponge it into Kitty's coat. Be sure to carefully follow the instructions. Remove the flea collar because the two products shouldn't be used together. If your cat won't let you apply a dip, you may have to get the vet to do it. Flea powders are also effective, especially for applying to specific problem areas on the cat's body. Again, carefully follow the directions and repeat as needed. There are also flea shampoos, which are great for quickly killing fleas and cleaning up after them, but they don't have any residual effect after being rinsed out. So shampoos need to be followed up by either dipping or applying flea powder after Kitty's had a chance to dry off first. Another treatment available over the counter today is topical treatment like Frontline. These treatments are applied directly to your cat's coat and work really fast to kill fleas. Once these treatments have been done, then you can put a new breakaway flea collar on your cat. The house and yard will also need to be treated. That means spraying areas where your cat spends a lot of time. This includes its bedding, kitty condo, window perch, the carpet and under, as well as on the furniture. Then you'll need to fog the house with an aerosol bomb. Before fogging though, be sure to carefully read and follow the manufacturer's directions. Make sure that no pets are left in the house, and that if you have a fish tank, it's covered when you set the bomb off. These procedures should eliminate the immediate problem. However, you may have to repeat their application again, so plan on doing this if you have to. The directions on the products will indicate when to do so. Finally, while treating your cat for fleas, check for ticks. If you happen to find any ticks on it, take Kitty to the vet to have them safely removed. Don't try to do this yourself. Because cats constantly lick, clean, and groom themselves, they're prone to developing hairballs, especially cats with long hair. When a cat licks itself, any loose fur gets swallowed. Normally, this hair is digested and eliminated. However, the fur can accumulate in Kitty's tummy and form a solid mass that cannot be passed through normally. Since it has to come out, the cat will begin retching while attempting to vomit in order to dislodge the hairball. If you see your cat doing this, quickly and carefully pick Kitty up and place it on some newspapers or on a surface that's easy to clean up. Then plan on preventing this from happening again. There are several ways you can do so. Start by regularly combing and brushing your cat's coat. You can also try adding extra fiber to your cat's diet, such as psyllium or rice polish that can be found in health food stores. Soak a little of it in warm water for 5 minutes, and then mix it in with your cat's food. Try putting out a box of fresh kitty grass, too. If these don't help, you can give Kitty special hairball treats from the pet store. They're delicious treats that contain mineral oil. Some pet food companies also make special foods for hairball-prone cats. If hairball problems still persist, despite these measures, then you'll need to look for products that contain petroleum in them. Fortunately, they also come in flavors that cats love. Since grooming is the cause of hairballs, keep an eye out if your cat is grooming itself excessively. They may be doing this because they're nervous or bored. Playing with your cat regularly will redirect the cat's energies into activities that replace the desire to constantly groom. Finally, if your cat continues to retch but cannot vomit or isn't eliminating properly, a hairball may be causing stomach or intestinal blockage. If left untreated, this can kill your cat. Get it to a vet as soon as you suspect or detect a problem. If your cat spends time outdoors or around cats that do, there's a good chance that it will contract ear mites. Ear mites are tiny crab-like parasites that collect and feed in cats' ears. They're easy to see and look like black dirt inside the ears. If your cat is scratching its ears or shaking its head frequently, it might be due to ear mites. If left untreated, these mites can cause infections and even rupture the cat's eardrums. The best prevention for ear mites is to keep your cat indoors. However, if your cat has contracted them, you can use flea treatments to eliminate the mites. You'll have to treat the ear mites the same way you treat fleas, with the same three-pronged approach. That means treating Kitty, the house, and the yard. If your cat has ear mites, first take it to the vet for proper treatment. The ears will get cleaned and you'll learn to do this for minor infestations. You'll also be given ear drops to apply to your cat's ears. There are other things to keep an eye on when it comes to taking proper care of your cat. One of them is dental care. Regularly scheduled checkups with the vet will determine how Kitty's teeth and gums are doing. Tooth decay can happen to cats just as easily as it can happen to you. So you may need to brush your cat's teeth with specially made cat toothbrushes and pastes. If you start this procedure when the cats are still kittens, they'll become more accustomed to doing it regularly. In fact, the specially made toothpastes taste so good that Kitty will think it's getting a treat. If you or anyone in your household smokes, be aware that secondhand smoke can be very dangerous for your cat. Breathing it in can cause upper respiratory problems and asthma. Grooming and licking the carcinogens that accumulate on its fur can also lead to oral cancer for some cats. Caring about your cat is one more good reason to quit smoking, don't you think? Be sure to keep toxic products like antifreeze properly stored so that Kitty can't get into them. Anytime you purchase anything, be sure to read the warning labels. It's not always easy to determine if your cat is ill. Changes in behavior, diet, and elimination are usually the first signs that something's wrong. As soon as you observe your cat acting out of the ordinary, get Kitty to the vet right away. Some simple safeguards and careful observation are the first lines of defense when it comes to keeping your cat healthy and safe. Of course, so are regular checkups at the vet. Cats are remarkably intelligent and fascinating creatures. They love to play. They're extremely curious and inquisitive. They can also be very loving and affectionate. At the same time, they also love to sleep a lot and can seem aloof and indifferent. Talk about split personalities. But that's what makes cats cats. If you have a cat that spends time outdoors, it may do something that will disturb many owners. And that's bring mice, reptiles, and birds that they've caught into the house. Unfortunately, this is natural and hereditary behavior with cats. Some people think cats have crazy streaks, especially when they're kittens. More often than not, there's usually an underlying motive behind their behavior. Sometimes, for no apparent reason, a cat will suddenly look up and then race out of the room, leaving you to wonder what that was all about. Well, most likely it's because cats can hear frequencies that the human ear cannot. They probably heard a sound that frightened or confused them and ran away out of fear. Cats also have superior vision in the darkness, enabling them to see things that we cannot. In fact, a lot of unusual cat behavior can be explained by their heightened senses of perception. Cats have been observed acting frisky or agitated prior to changes in the weather or just before earthquakes. No one knows exactly why, but there's no doubt that cats can sense and detect for more natural occurrences around them than people can. Cats have also been known to act very caring and concerned when there's something wrong with the person they've bonded with. They've even been known to make the effort to visit with someone they love for the last time when sick, before disappearing to go somewhere quiet to die. As you can see, cats truly are remarkable and very special animals. That's why so many people around the world love them so much. Well, we've come to the end of the video. Now it's up to you to apply the lessons you've learned from it to raise and care for a healthy and happy kitty. In return, your cat will provide you with many, many years of love and happiness. Just remember to give your cats lots of love and attention, especially when they're young. Make sure that their changing nutritional needs are seen to as they age, and that they always have lots of water. Play with them as often as you can. Keep them brushed and their claws clipped. Watch for any changes in their behavior, diet, or eliminating habits. And be sure to take Kitty to visit the vet regularly. Common sense and care are what it's all about when it comes to looking after your cat. They're going to live with you for a very long time, so you'll want to keep them healthy and happy. In turn, your cat will help to keep you that way too. Have a wonderful life together. Bye-bye.